Yo, guys, it's your boy Burnard, and welcome to another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. And this is the first thing I saw really that pissed me off, and I was just like, why, Sony, are you doing this? So Sony has put out, has patented a system to generate AI podcasts and the voices of your favorite Sony PlayStation characters. So apparently this patent was submitted sometime mid-2024 and claims that the system is dubbed is an LLM-based generative podcast for gamers and will generate unique personalized podcasts of news that a particular gamer would find interesting and could be presented in the voice of a video game character from a game you already played by the respective gamer. And apparently this can be offered to players on the home screen when they turn on their PlayStation console. So the patent also says the video game platforms currently lack the ability to provide unique and targeted content to gamers to update the gamers about things that are happening on the platform. There are currently no adequate solutions to the foregoing computer-related technological problem. So I saw that and I was just like, aren't voice actors on strike for this particular reason? Or did they settle the strike? Because it's just like, crap like this will honestly make PlayStation just have to lean into the whole AI voice acting thing, and it'll just be horrible, like those two animes that I talked about on Prime Video that got removed, by the way. And I honestly, it's a dumb idea. Why are you guys trying to lean into AI so hard? I mean, I don't know if anybody listening or watching this podcast has built their own computer or is in the interest of upgrading their RAM storage in their PlayStation or their Xboxes. Because of all this AI crap and this chip fluctuation shortage, chip bubble, whatever you want to call it, like, solid state drives are through the roof. Like, I think I brought this up already on the podcast, but I saw it on Reddit and I had to like go on Best Buy to just, see it for myself. But removable solid state drives for the PlayStation 5 are through the roof. So I'm actually waiting for it to load. Gotta love Wi-Fi in a crappy condo built in the 70s. So the Western Digital 2 terabyte solid state drive used to be about $400, I believe. It is now at $1,068.99. And it is not on sale, if I'm seeing that correctly. And usually with Best Buy, everything is on sale. 1 terabyte is $539. So yeah, it is ridiculous that the price of these solid state drives, and like, let me see how much like RAM is costing. Because like you can get like third party RAM, but I think like that NVIDIA RAM is like through the roof. Loads. 4 terabyte for the Samsung is 5 something, by the way. Okay, so not all of it has gone up dramatically, but a lot of it has gone up roughly like $75-$80. Like this, I think this is the one I have, the Crucial 2 terabyte SSD is on sale for $264, so it's $135 off when it's usually $399. So yeah, it is ridiculous that the price of computer components is going to go up. So like, I'm afraid that the PS6 is going to be like $800. I mean, the 5 was already $500, and it is only going up in price, which makes no sense. Usually when, consoles are old and everything, they fluctuate down, but due to, he who must not be named, who decided to post an AI video of the former president and first lady as apes, his tariffs, things have gone up, or you just can't get them at all. So yeah, go on Amazon or eBay uh, offer up for your computer components. I don't know what to tell you. All right, my next story is about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I've never really been one to be a fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Don't know why. But when it was revived, I want to say in like the 2000s, so I want to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning. I think that was like the first one to come out in like the 2000s. My brother had that movie on DVD for some reason. Keep in mind, he was young as shit, so I don't even know why like my dad would let him buy that. No, it was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what it was. I remember this poster now. So yeah, this was the remake of the '74 one, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The beginning is the one afterwards. So A24 has bought the rights to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and so now they will be doing a TV show and a movie. And apparently, this is coming from Deadline. So it said the Civil War studio will make good on its plans to expand the slasher series with two new projects. First on deck is a TV series from the Long Walk writer J.T. Moeller, actor Glenn Powell, and producer Roy Lee. Powell is currently on hand to produce, possibly nixing any dreams of seeing him fight or die against Leatherface. A new movie is also in early development by the studio's producing team, but Moeller's reportedly not involved with it at the time of writing. It's unknown if the movie will wind up on Netflix as it once was supposed to be. Alright, JT Moeller said in a statement that the Texas Chainsaw is a perfect film, and saw the TV show as a fresh way into this world, as well as a way to honor the existing folklore. I can't imagine better partners for this approach than A24. This is truly an honor. So yeah, I mean, that's good if you guys like Leatherface. Like I said, I was never really big into the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Like I said, the only one I ever saw was the one that came out in 2003. I didn't even know there was one that came out in 2022. I knew about Leatherface. I knew about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, because that's when we were kind of like still at the beginning phases of the new 3D craze. So that bubble like really burst like around 2015. And I didn't see Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning. I'm trying to remember which one had Trey songs in it. Was it Leatherface? Nope, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. But yeah, didn't see any of these. Like I said, I don't really do like slashers that well. Besides like, Scream, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I want to say the classical ones, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic. It predates my birth. But yeah, like those ones that are kind of like based in real life without a supernatural aspect of them. Even then, I don't really like supernatural stuff. Like I said, it's just Freddy, Jason, and Michael Myers really that, I like. And obviously Scream, but Ghostface isn't a supernatural being. I got more on that a little bit later, by the way. So anyway, my next story is in regards to the wonderful world of Disney. And I'm not talking about the Sunday block at 7 o'clock that they used to have when they aired movies. Shout out to Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves and Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston. So, Bob Iger is supposed to be stepping down because he came back in 2024 and he said that I'm not going to be here long. I'm just here to fix everything that my successor, Bob Chapek, pretty much screwed up. So he's supposed to be leaving, I guess, around the end of this year. But Variety has reported on the new head of Disney, who is Josh D'Armo, who has apparently been head of Disney Experiences. He was the chairman. So basically, he was responsible for like consumer products, digital ventures in the video games, and the Imagineering department, Disney cruises, and the theme parks around the world. So apparently, he will be the CEO on March 28th, alongside current TV studio chief Dana Walden. But apparently Bob Iger is also going to stay on board as in a senior advisory role on the executive board until he officially retires in December on New Year's Eve. So Bob Iger actually said in a statement that Josh D'Amaro is an exceptional leader and the right person to become our next CEO. He has an instinctive appreciation of the Disney brand and a deep understanding of what resonates with our audiences, paired with the rigor and attention to detail required to deliver some of our most ambitious projects. His ability to combine creativity with operational excellence is exemplary, and I am thrilled for Josh in the company. So, I know nothing about Josh's history with the company besides what I just read. Like, I haven't been to a Disney park since I was 8-9 years old. Never been as an adult. I've always been a Universal guy. As you guys know, I had a Universal pass. And it's very ironic that I'm talking about Disney and I'm wearing this Star Wars shirt. But I just wanted to wear something with long sleeves because it's like 50 degrees outside. So yeah, I wish him the best. I hope he pushes the Disney name beyond, just franchises that we kind of got milked with like the Pixar stuff with the live action adaptations that Bob Iger basically greenlit. So that's why we're getting Toy Story 5, live action Moana, a live action Tangled, despite the fact that it was originally shelved, but Lilo and Stitch did so well. They said, "Oh wait, let's think about this." So yeah, I really hope he does a good job. So yeah, I really don't have much to say about that. All right, so my next story, it kind of hit the internet, and a few people were like, "Yay!" But then at the same time, they were like, "Wait." So Baldur's Gate, a game that I have no interest in, as you guys know, it was one of the things that Samir was talking about for like the 2.5, 3 years he was on the podcast, and the game finally came out, and still trying to get me to get it. I'm like, no, bro, I don't do Dungeons and Dragons like that. It's getting a TV show from HBO Max, whatever you want to call it, Warner Media, but it says HBO. And so, yeah, everybody got excited about that, but then they saw who will be working on it as the showrunner. And that is none other than Craig Mazin. So for those of you who don't know who Craig Mazin is, Craig Mazin has been working in film and television for like, I don't know, 20, 30 years or so. Worked on Scary Movie. He wrote the movie Senseless with Marlon Wayans. I keep meaning to rewatch that. He wrote Rocket Man, not the Elton John bio movie, but the one that came out in '97 with Harlan Williams. He wrote Scary Movie 3. Wrote Scary Movie 4, superhero movie, The Hangover Part 2, Identity Thief, Hangover Part 3. He also wrote The Huntsman and Winter's War. So he's always kind of been like a hit or miss. Had some writing credit on Wicked. Also had... I'm sorry, he wasn't credited on Wicked, but he had added additional literary material for that and Dune Part 2. But he did Chernobyl, which came out in 2019 pre-pandemic. And he's mainly known for writing, creating, and executive producing the Last of Us series on HBO. And that's where everybody was like, oh, God, not that guy. So yeah, apparently this is going to be taking place after the third game. No idea on what's going to happen with the casting or who's going to be directing episodes or who's just going to be a writer, because honestly, Craig Mazin doesn't need to write every single episode. He did that with the last season of The Last of Us, and I think it's his writing that made everyone like kind of step out. Like, I'm looking at the writing credits right now on season 2 of The Last of Us. So he wrote episodes 1 through 5 by himself, and 6 and 7 were co-written by Neil Druckmann, who is the creator of the game, and Haley Gross, who co-wrote the second game with Neil Druckmann. And pretty much the same thing. He did the same thing with the first season. So solo writing, he wrote episodes 2 through 6 and episode 8. And Neil Druckmann wrote episode 7 by himself and co-wrote episodes 1 and 9 with Craig Mazin. So yeah, I mean, I don't know much about Baldur's Gate, and I probably won't watch this series, honestly, so it really makes no difference to me. But for those of you who are fans of the game, I would probably start writing HBO just to be on the safe side, because I said, that last season of The Last of Us. Too many creative choices. Just stick to the story of the game. With this, you're making up your own story, so you can, do whatever you want. Unfortunately, but I don't know. All right, so I got one more story before I take my break and drink my my Galaxy Grenade. I don't know if I brought this up, but The Exorcist is being rebooted or continued or what. I don't know. But Mike Flanagan is working on this. It's supposed to be coming out March of next year. And we got some casting news. So Lawrence Fishburne joined the cast, as well as Chiwetel Ejiofor. If you don't know who Lawrence Fishburne is, it's like, what's wrong with you? Lawrence Fishburne has been in a lot of awesome movies. The John Wick franchise, The Matrix, Boys in the Hood. What's Love Got to Do with It? He was on Pee-wee's Playhouse. That's back when he used to go as Larry Fishburne. The Amateur, Apocalypse Now. What is that one movie I'm thinking of? Fuck. Event Horizon, Deep Cover, Biker Boys, Hoodlum, Bumpy Johnson. He was the villain in Osmosis Jones, right? Or was that Sam Jackson? I'm looking this up now. No, it was Lawrence Fishburne. He was Thrax. Classic movie. Subreddit's been going nuts about that over the past few days because of the Kid Rock stuff. Contagion, The Signal, Red Heat, Standoff, Man of Steel, Perry White, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors, Fantastic Four. He's the voice of Silver Surfer. Transformers 1. He was who was he? He was one of the Sentinels. Was he Sentinel Prime? I'm going to the cast real quick. Voice cast. Larry Fishburne, Alpha Trion. That's what it was. He was an Ancient Prime. So yeah. Who else has joined this movie? So Scarlett Johansson and Diane Lane. I feel like I brought up Scarlett Johansson joining this film, but not Diane Lane. And somebody called Jacoby Jupe, who is in the movie Hamnet, about Shakespeare's son, who was basically the inspiration of the play Hamlet. Like I said, this will be coming out March 12th of next year, and it will be filmed in New York City, which is a surprise because not that much stuff is filmed in New York anymore just because of the expensiveness of it all. I might check out The Exorcist. The Exorcist was one of those movies, once again, don't really do supernatural stuff. I vaguely recall watching bits and pieces of it. I don't think I've seen the original one from beginning to end. I've seen exorcism movies like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. That is a very good movie. Or The Fourth Kind. It's like one of two movies I like with Mila Jovovich, because it's just that and The Fifth Element. Resident Evil, nah, which I will be talking about later. But anyway, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna drink me some Dubby, and I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix one packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to Debbie.gg and use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Debbie.gg with promo code Angry Blerd 10. Remember when I said I was going to talk about Resident Evil a little bit? Well, here we go. So, if you're looking at the timestamps in the description, you see that I wrote, I was excited for this, but then I got really disappointed. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. House of the Dead was being remade, and it was going to star Isabella Merced. Well, is going to star Isabella Merced. So I was like, yes, hallelujah. But then I saw who was directing this movie. And that's none other than Paul W.S. Anderson. Can we keep him away from video games? Because not only does he like to just cast his wife, Mila Jovovich, and everything, but he is not really a good director. Anyway, so according to Deadline, the Resident Evil director is hopping from Capcom's zombie franchise to Sega's certified arcade classic, with the very busy Superman, Alien Romulus, and The Last of Us, Isabella Merced the star. The original 1997 game spawned multiple sequels, which sees two players take on the role of government agents tasked with neutralizing a swarm of zombies threatening to take over the world. Deadline also said that the series was a source of inspiration for Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead remake and Mark Foster's World War Z because of the zombies' knack for having the zoomies. Right, and given Anderson's track record with Resident Evil, however, it's safe to say his instincts are more tuned to the bonkers flat and action. The bonkers fast and action-heavy favoring of the House of the Dead than his more Resident Evil 6, feeling film saga. All things he seems appropriately geeked out about having the opportunity to show his stuff with Merced as the star. All right. So Paul said, The House of the Dead is a game that I've loved for many years, and I am beyond thrilled to be bringing this to the big screen with such an extraordinary talent as Isabella at its heart. We, in Savage, this has the start of a tentpole franchise which can explore the rich world and lore that Sega has created over a whole series of films. So, like I said, Paul W.S. Anderson, keep him away from video games. So for those of you who have no idea what movies he's done, I'm just going to go over his filmography real quick. Starting with the one that everybody loves but didn't age well. Mortal Kombat. Directed that one in 1995. Then he did Event Horizon in 97. Don't think I ever saw this one. He did Soldier with Kurt Russell. Didn't see this one. The Sight. What the hell is The Sight? Never heard of it. Wrote and directed it. Oh, this was straight made for TV. This was on FX. Then he did Resident Evil, Alien vs. Predator. Wrote and directed that one. Also wrote, directed, and produced Resident Evil, by the way. Produced and wrote Resident Evil Apocalypse. Produced and wrote Resident Evil Extinction. Wrote, produced, and directed Death Race with Jason Statham. Resident Evil Afterlife, wrote, directed, and produced. The Three Musketeers, directed and produced. The movie with Ray Stevenson, once again his wife, Mila Jovovich, and Luke Evans. Oh, Mads Mikkelsen is in this? Yeah, Resident Evil Retribution, wrote, directed, and produced. Pompeii, directed and produced. Resident Evil The Final Chapter, did all three again. Monster Hunter, did all three. And In the Lost Lands, a movie that came and went that nobody saw. Because this movie came out, last year? And yeah, 2025. I saw this movie. I think I saw the trailer. It was either from the Discussing Film page on Twitter, or I might have seen the trailer in theaters, don't remember. But as soon as I saw his name and I saw Mila Jovovich, I was like, oh, nope, I'm out. Because I was very excited for this because Batista's in it. And, this was when Batista was like, yeah, I'm going to not necessarily do all the super action movies, which turned out to be a lie because I will be talking about The Wrecking Crew later. But yeah, nobody saw that movie, bro. It made $5 million. Let me double check this. I'm sorry, 6.2 with a $55 million budget. So, yeah, nobody saw that. So yeah, I am not excited anymore about the House of the Dead movie. He also produced the DOA Dead or Alive movie in Pandorum, which was just a very weird movie with Dennis Quaid, Ben Foster, and Cam Gigandet. Was it Cam Gigandet? Yeah. Whatever happened to Cam Gigandet? That might be the name of the episode. Anyway, yeah, House of the Dead, no go for me. Next story is in regards to Scream 7, and it's not even about the movie. It is about the mask. So for those of you who don't know, the Ghostface mask was actually a mask that was made around Halloween time, and then somebody saw it in a Halloween shop. And okay, it was actually the producer of Scream, Marianne Madalena. And it was licensed for the film franchise. And it was used in every single Scream property with the exception of the show that was on MTV and was it VH1 or BET? I don't know why, but for some reason they decided to air the last season on the Black Network. That's because the whole cast was black. So yeah, apparently Paramount and Spyglass are in a legal fight with the studio Altarian Ghost Factory, who are the ones who make the mask now. So yeah, Paramount believes that Fun World deserves all the beef with Alterian, and that Alterian lost any rights to call ownership of the Ghostface mask after spending decades without taking any legal action. So Paramount's complaint says it has never legally established that it owns the rights to the Ghostface mask, and will not be able to prove it now in litigation. And seeking to dispute the release of the completed motion picture mere weeks before its release, the seventh installment of the franchise that Alterian watched grow in silence for 3 decades is an outrageous attempt to shake down Paramount and Spyglass. So yeah, that's a little bit crazy. Like, Scream 7 came out in 96, 97? And y'all are just thinking, hey, maybe we should trademark this aesthetic. And they waited until the 7th movie came out. This is On the Verge is coming out, which is the date before my birthday, February 27th, by the way, for the movie. And I'm just like, so y'all are just dumb, honestly. It's like when those contracts on things lapse, and people are just like, oh, well, this is up for grabs now. I can't remember what it was. It was a famous property that somebody just up and bought. Like they got the trademark for it and licensing. I can't remember. I would have to look it up, but I don't have time for that. Anyway, my next story is about Clayface. So this movie was supposed to be coming out September 11th, but they have flipped it, and I'm kind of glad they flipped it because I said this. I'm like, why not make this movie come out closer to Halloween? So it will be coming out October 3rd now. And apparently they took Practical Magic 2 from September 18th to the date of September 11th. So I guess mid-September is the beginning of spooky season for movies, which I can kind of see, but like Clayface, body horror, that should definitely come out in October. So I'm kind of glad that they did that. I still haven't seen the first Practical Magic. Because the way that the trailer makes it look, it's a magic rom-com, which it kind of is, but at the same time, there's more to it from what people have been telling me. But maybe one day I'll watch it, because I did have it on my watch list on HBO Max, and then it left. I'm not sure if it's back yet, or if I just have to sell the 7 Seas if I want to check out this movie with Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman. But anyway, my next story, since I am no longer doing live trailer reactions, I am just going to give you my reaction to the teaser for Stranger Things Tales from 85. So, it looks good, honestly. But doing some research into this, you've come to find out that nobody from the original cast has come back to voice the animated version of the characters. So, I actually have the list of some of the characters, of some of the actors and who they're voicing. So somebody named Brett Gibson is providing the voice of Hopper. Luca Diaz is providing the voice of Mike. Brooklyn David Norstead is doing the voice of Eleven. Braxton Quinley is Dustin. Alicia Williams is Max. Ben Plesala is Will. Jolie Hong Rappaport is Max. Apparently Janine Garofalo, Odessa of Zion, and Lou Diamond Phillips will be doing guest star roles. But it looks good. But here's my problem with something like this. So, this is an integral. It's kind of like, Ballerina takes place in between 2 things. So, this is supposed to take place in between seasons 2 and 3. Nothing in this show has been ever referenced in Stranger Things history. So, how are they going to explain that? Because I don't think that, Brenner and his guys had memory wiping technology in 85. But I'm going to watch the show, and hopefully it's good. Like I said, the trailer looked good. You can only hope. Speaking of hope, next story. Sam Raimi out doing interviews with the Associated Press promoting Send Help. First one came out 24 years ago. I almost said 14. Was it 24? Yeah, 24 years ago. The last one came out 19 years ago. Still getting questions about Spider-Man 2. First he said, nah, that chapter of my life is closed. But now he's like saying maybe. So he said, So I think the kids would like to see him right now. Marvel is very successful in their own tangent with their own Spider-Man, where he is involved with the Avengers and the other superheroes. So I don't think it makes sense right now to break up that great successful run they're having, just to allow me to make another Spider-Man movie. But I love to. The day might come, and I'd love to do it. So yeah, I mean, Toby could still do it. I mean, how long ago did No Way Home come out? 2021? 2021, 2022, something like that. Let me check Siri. When was Spider-Man No Way Home released?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
2021. Alright, so yeah, I mean, I do know Tobey was having back issues. He was originally going to step away from Spider-Man 2, but I don't know if those issues have been healed. I know they made fun of it in No Way Home with, the back with the swinging, his lower back's tensing up and whatnot. But I don't know if they'll still use the original script that they had planned for Spider-Man 4 with the Lizard and whatnot, because we got the Lizard in The Amazing Spider-Man 1. So, I don't know. Plus, I think, is it D. Bradley Baker, I want to say, who played Doc Connors? Wait, who the fuck is D. Bradley Baker? What? Is it D. Bradley Baker? Go on to Wikipedia real quick. No, it is definitely not D. Bradley Baker. Because he is a voice actor. Now I need to look this up because it's going to be one of those things like, what the hell is the guy's name? Let's just go to Spider-Man 2. Alright, cast. Dylan Baker. That's what it is. I mean, he could still be Doc Connors, but like I said, who wants that story anymore? Alright, my next story is in regards to The Last of Us. This is just a little bit of casting news. So as I told you guys, Danny Ramirez was going to have to step away from the role of Manny due to scheduling conflicts. Everyone's saying, maybe it's Avengers Secret Wars or whatever. So Jorge Lindenborg Jr. will be taking over the role of Manny. And Clea Duvall has joined the cast as possibly the leader of the Seraphites. So, for those of you who don't know who the Seraphites are, they are basically like a cult. Y'all saw season 2. They're the people who live in the woods and whatnot. I don't think I've seen anything with Clea Duvall in it since the faculty. I'm sorry, guys. Doing what Samira used to do, and I'm gonna have to pivot real quick to see if I've seen anything with her in it outside of the faculty. Apparently, she's on The Handmaid's Tale and was in American Horror Story. I'm looking at her movies right now. Alright. When did the faculty come out? Oh, the faculty was 98 actually. Did I say 96? I feel like I might have just thought it. Didn't see Ghost of Mars. Yeah, I'm looking at her filmography right now. Did not watch Argo. Didn't see any of these movies. Now, let's go to TV shows. She was on Heroes? Who the hell is Audrey Hanson? Oh, okay. She was the FBI agent. Okay. Alright, so maybe I haven't seen her in anything since Heroes. An episode of New Girl. Yeah, so an episode of New Girl. I didn't watch Better Call Saul. Didn't watch The Handmaid's Tale. So yeah, I haven't seen her in anything in over a decade. So yeah, that's that. Alright, for those of you who are inspiring to be extras and something along the lines of a major motion picture, TV series, whatnot, I got some good news for you. So, if you live in the New York area, you can actually apply to be an extra in season 3 of Daredevil Born Again. So, this actually expires on March 6th. This will be the only description hyperlinked with the link to Backstage. It is being filmed under the title Out the Kitchen. So some of the roles on this project is basically either you're playing cops or gang members. So they have criminal gang members who, for people who are SAG-AFTRA covered, criminal gang members for non-SAG-AFTRA. And so basically, it's 3 roles. You either have SAG coverage or non-SAG-AFTRA coverage. So you got the criminal gang members, the dangerous criminals, and the intimidating officers. So if you're SAG-AFTRA covered for the criminal gang members, you will get a flat rate of $224 with an estimated time of 8 hours of work. Non-SAG backgrounds, 187 flat rate for roughly 10 hours of work. Dangerous criminals, 224. Looks like everybody's going to be either 224 or 187. Same amount of work. SAG covered 8 hours, non-SAG 10 hours. So yeah, like I said, this will be linked in the description of the show. And good luck to you. All right. So a book franchise I never really cared about, and a movie that I never saw because I didn't care about the books. Came out in 2002. What was I, 15? Depends on when the first one came out. It's either 15 or 16. Eragon, the TV show, is still in the works at Disney Plus, and Disney confirmed this with the news of Brandon Sanderson getting the big Apple deal. So they actually said that it is moving forward. Let me actually pull this up real quick. So yeah, apparently Christopher Poloni, who was the writer of Eragon, will be producing the series and co-writing it with the executive producer Bert Salke. Salke, Salke. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm gonna see what he's done that I've possibly seen. Go to his IMDb because he doesn't have a Wikipedia page. Something. Okay, he's a producer on Percy Jackson. So it's in good hands, honestly, because Percy Jackson is doing fine, and we'll get season 3 of that sometime this year, hopefully. I'm being very optimistic and positive about season 3 of that coming out. But I do know one thing. It is time to cue up this spoiler alert. So I'm going to talk about The Wrecking Crew first, because this one you can watch at home on Prime Video. Once again, Amazon. I don't know who you have telling you what movies should be in theaters and which ones shouldn't, but this should have went to theaters as opposed to Mercy, because that movie is not doing well. The movie came out a month ago, and I don't think it recouped yet. Let's actually look this up real quick, because it was just like, really, it's Chris Pratt with a AI Rebecca Ferguson. Yeah, movie came out January 23rd. Budget was $60 million. Box office is at 42. But this, The Wrecking Crew, should have went to theaters. So, directed by Angel Manuel Soto, director of Blue Beetle, written by Jonathan Tropper, who apparently also did the series Warrior on Cinemax, and Banshee, which starred Anthony Starr. That was also on Cinemax. Who still has Cinemax? That's the question. He also is the creator of Your Friends and Neighbors, the show with John Hamm, where you see that got turned into a meme of John Hamm dancing in the club. Also co-wrote wrote the Adam Project with Ryan Reynolds, and is also writing Star Wars Starfighter. So yeah, stars Jason Momoa, Dave Bautista, Claes Bang, Tamora Morrison, Jacob Batalon, Frankie Adams, who is fine as fuck, Stephen Root, Morena Baccarin, and somebody named Miyavi. So yeah, it's actually about two brothers, Johnny and James Halley, who end up reuniting after their father was in a hit and run accident, which actually turns out to be a lot more than it was originally believed to be. So he was actually killed by the Yakuza. Very good movie. I don't really want to say much with spoiling this movie, but this might be Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista's best movie. Obviously, people are going to say Dune for Bautista, and people are going to say probably Aquaman for Momoa. Like, I wasn't big on Momoa being Aquaman, and I told him that to his face in 2014 at SuperCon. Or was it 2013? It was one of them years. I can't remember. Time is a blur. But I honestly enjoyed this movie. I am going to watch it again. I always forget that Jacob Batalon suffers from alopecia, so when you see him in things outside of like Spider-Man and Reginald the Vampire, it's weird because he doesn't have eyebrows. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I knew that Tamora Morrison was going to somehow, some way, some form be the bad guy. Because Tamora Morrison, he plays Boba Fett, Jango Fett, all the Fetts. Every time I see him in something, he is a bad guy. And he is always good at being the bad guy. But also, in his defense, he's not the main bad guy in this movie. Morena Baccarin lights up the screen like always, and everything I've seen her in ever since, like, I want to say V might have been the first thing I saw her in. Like, she was the reason I watched Homeland. Like, I didn't care about Claire Danes. Obviously Deadpool 2, Deadpool and Wolverine. Once again, watched the show for her, Gotham, until like I was like, nah, I'm good, bro, I'm out. But all in all, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I really didn't have anything bad to say about it, except for some scenes you can obviously tell are on a green screen. There's a scene with a helicopter chase towards the last act of the movie, where you can tell the CG. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. 10 out of 10 for me. I really don't have anything bad to say about this movie. I really thought the main characters, the main villain's wife was going to be in it for a little bit longer. Like about maybe like her and Momoa's character were going to have a hookup or something, because she was like, yo, we can't talk here. Meet me at my penthouse at XYZ. Nah, she did. So yeah, y'all check out The Wrecking Crew on HBO. I mean, not HBO. On Prime Video. Alright, so now I am going to talk about Send Help. This movie was directed by Sam Raimi, co-written by Damian Shannon and Mark Swift. Stars Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien, Xavier Samuel, Dennis Haysbert, Chris Payne, and Idel Ishmael. Although none of those other people matter outside of Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien. So, for those of you who don't know, Rachel McAdams plays Linda Little, who is a corporate strategist who is promised a position as a vice president of the company that she works for. But Dylan O'Brien plays her new boss, because the guy who promised her the role actually died, and he gives the role of vice president to his friend, who is his golfing buddy, who has no idea on what to do. And she gets mad about it, and he's like, look, maybe we can work out something else, but I need you on the plane to this trip to Bangkok for this business merger. The plane crashes, they end up on an island, and Dylan O'Brien's character possibly would have died without her help. And then, she turns the tables on him, like, yo, man, we're not in the office anymore, okay? You're gonna listen to me, because this is the one spoiler I'll give you guys. Before the plane goes down, Donovan actually finds Linda's Survivor audition video, because she is big into Survivor and being a forger and things of that nature. So things really do take a very twisted turn in maybe the first 40 minutes or so, to the point where I had to go to the bathroom and I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to miss nothing, especially since I went by myself. This movie was hilarious. I think this was the only thing where I was like, yeah, Dylan O'Brien needs to die, because I got into Dylan O'Brien because of Teen Wolf, although I haven't watched every single one of his movies. But this one I loved from beginning to end. There is no post-credit or mid-credit scene, but the ending, I feel like it was justified. So that's all I can say about that. Another 10 out of 10 for me. Y'all go see Send Help. And I don't really have any more to say about anything. So guys, that was another episode of the Angry Blerd podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg, use my promo code Angry Blerd 10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. Next week, I actually found a theater that will be showing Whistle, the movie I told you I did the review for with Sophia Nestle, Daphne King, where they blow the death whistle and their deaths start to come at them early. So I do have to go at like 9:30 at night though, which I really don't like doing. So yeah, guys, that's it. Peace out.